Hi everyone, Matt Bernier, Dan Illman taking a look back at the Turnback the Alarm from Belmont Park this past Saturday afternoon on Weekend Wrap. Short field, but they break from the gate, and you're going to notice a couple different things in here. This was the long-awaited return of Miss Sky Warrior, the horse that was out there basically pushing Paradise Woods throughout in those just unbelievable fractions in the Kentucky Oaks. She comes back. Here's a 3-5 favorite. She goes out to the front, and again, they set a pretty legitimate pace.
This is her first start against older horses. As you mentioned, the first start since the Kentucky Oaks, and her jockey Javier Castellano can't be thrilled to see a place to shine, a 16-1 shot, really prompting early. This second quarter mile, especially down the straightaway, is going to be in sub-23 fashion. Miss Sky Warrior also, it must be noted, again, there were only 4 main track dirt races at Belmont on Saturday. Speed didn't win any of them.
And like you say, it doesn't help when you get a 16-1 shot that is intent on pushing you throughout. That is a place to shine. Meanwhile, just in behind is Verve's Tail. We know all about Verve's Tail. We know what her game is. She's going to come just a little bit off the pace and make her run. And at this point right now, she is moving very, very nicely for Joel Rosario.
She's moving sweetly, and you and I are beginning to count our money. I wonder if Rosario gives this favorite a little bit too much respect once she puts away a place to shine, because she goes after Miss Sky Warrior knowing that she's the horse to beat. I think Joel had to be surprised that right here, Miss Sky Warrior is offering up no resistance. She turns into the stretch with a clear lead and a skin for money chasing.
Meanwhile, Bird at the Wire not doing a lot of running. The only real threat, it seems, at this point is Eskin for Money, but we know Eskin for Money. She's not necessarily always the one that wants to get her picture taken the most. Verve's Tail, even right now, looks like she's home free. What happened?
Eskin for Money dug. Verve's Tail got tired, perhaps from moving a little bit early. She is still trying to dig it out. Verve's Tail, she's still a winner here. But Eskin for Money in the final start of her career for Todd Pletcher and John Velasquez, boy, what a last stride of her career to get it done. And I believe she's cataloged to the Fasig-Tipton November sale, where she should make a pretty expensive broodmare prospect.
Eskin for Money goes out a winner in the Grade 3 Turnback. The Alarm pays $9.20. Verve's Tail, tough one to take if you were backing this one.
Well, we would know about that.
She pays $5 to place Bird at the Wire, a visually unimpressive third-place effort here, but that is what Bird at the Wire does. She comes with a bit of a run. She can get a piece. $3.30 to show. The $1 exact to 19, 20, 50 cent try, 27, 37. Eskin for Money, you made mention. She is now done. Her racing career is over. It's on to bigger and better things, being a mom at some point down the road. Over $750,000 in earnings for Pletcher, Velasquez, Star Ladies, and Lisa Trout. 28 starts, 5 times a winner. Overall, what else is there to say? She was an honest horse. She may not have been brilliant, but she showed up and she ran every time.
Todd got the most out of this horse.
Yes.
He understood that a one-turn route is her best game. He got some money out of Eskin for Money down at Gulfstream, where it's a one-turn route and where Pletcher makes hay. Most importantly this year, the plan was, when it looked like she was getting a little sour, let's get a valuable Grade 1 placing. And he found spots. The Personal Ensign, only a 4-horse field, where it looked like she was being ridden just to get a piece. She got 2 Grade 1 placings, I believe, leading up to this race. This was gravy, but a sweet way to end her career.
Verve's Tail, just to be blunt about it, this is a terrible, terrible loss.
This is not a good loss. I know the pace was heating up towards the middle part, but when you put away the favorite and you've got Eskin for Money, who we know is willing to settle for second on occasion, you've got to put the race to bed. I wonder if Verve's Tail slightly more effective at a 2-turn mile and an eighth. That might seem strange, figuring that she lost here going a mile and a 16th and was losing ground late. But I think some of her better races have come going a mile and an eighth around 2 turns. But at this point off this race, it's hard to trust her.
Bird at the Wire, we know Bird at the Wire. This is what she is. She'll come with a little bit of a run. Won't be anything visually fantastic. If you are Kelly Breen and company, what do you do with Miss Sky Warrior after this effort?
You go on with her and you show your potent speed next time out and hope this was simply a result of a track that didn't play to your style, a fast pace and a long layoff all conspiring against you. If you're a handicapper, you could easily look at it that way. But as I talked with Beer on the stakes preview, you could also look at Miss Sky Warrior another way. She really has only one fast fig on her page, and that was that dominant pre-Kentucky Oaks performance. She won by 15 lengths, but if you remember, that was an intensely inside speed favoring track. And that track might have carried her to that big lead and big win and big buyer. You take that race away, it's not like she has a strong edge over a lot of these other horses.
No, and also go back and look and see what she faced that day. I know Lockdown was in that race, but Lockdown...
She was an exhausted horse chasing in second at the 3/8 pole, and the bias carried her to second.
And Lockdown hasn't necessarily made that race look all that great at this point. She's a fine filly, don't get me wrong, but it's not as though she has any giant races over the past little while, so I understand exactly where you're coming from with Miss Sky Warrior. Do you ultimately think longer is better or shorter?
I think she has enough versatility. We saw her win one-turn races off a layoff at Gulfstream. We also saw, of course, win that race over the winter around 2 turns. I'm assuming that next time she will run a 2-turn race. I think if we can get her down to Gulfstream and run a 2-turn mile and an 1/8 or a mile and a 16th even, I think that's a nice spot for her. And she'll show speed. And listen, that speed is always going to be potent. She probably deserves a mulligan off this effort, but I wonder if she's a little bit overrated.
Maybe a race like the Rampart, I believe that's
That would probably be a really good spot over a track that we know she likes and plays to horses with her style.
Eskin for money. She's determined. She may not have been just the flashiest horse of all time, but you know what? It's hard not to root for a horse like this. She shows up. All she does is run. She is done. She goes out a winner, taking the Turnback, the Alarm, with a 92 buyer.